Hello students, last time we have dealt with the definition of base with the classification of these bases. Now in this part we will be dealing with the properties of these bases, and all these properties of bases are classified in two categories. The very first we will be dealing with the physical properties, and then we will be dealing with the chemical reaction or the chemical properties of these bases. So let's start with the physical properties of bases. The very first physical property of these bases is most of the bitter bases are bitter in taste. The second one, these bases are corrosive in nature. And again, this property is generally shown by the strong bases or by their concentrated solution. These are corrosive in nature, means they can produce the harm to the organic material, to the skin or to the clothes. The third one, these bases, they show the litmus paper test and they change the color of red litmus to blue. Now they also show the another kind of indicators test, but here we are talking about the simplest kind of indicator, that is litmus paper, and the base, it changes the red litmus paper into blue litmus paper. Now if I talk about the next property of these bases, then the next property is these bases, when we touch these bases, we find that these bases are soapy or slippery to touch. So that are the properties of bases. Now sometimes it is asked that why these bases are soapy or slippery to touch. So since the formation of soap, it occurs by the reaction of a base with a fat or oil. When these fats or oils of animal origin, they react with a strong base, and generally at the industrial level for the formation of soap, we prefer the use of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide as a base. When these two are made to react with fat or oil, resultant the formation of soap occurs, and this kind of soap formation reaction is termed as saponification reaction. Now, whenever we touch a base, so the fats or oils secreted by the sweat glands present at the pores of our fingers, it reacts with the base. Resultant when this fat or oil present in our hand, it reacts with the base what you are going to touch. Again, there the saponification reaction occurs, and the resultant formation is of soap. Since the soap is going to be formed there by the reaction of these two, that is why these bases are soapy or slippery to touch. So that is about the physical properties of these bases. Now let's move to the chemical properties of the chemical reaction of these bases. The very first chemical property of these bases is the reaction with acids. When these bases, they are made to react with the acid, by the reaction of a base and acid result in the formation of salt with the formation of water occurs, and this reaction of a base and acid to form salt and water is termed as neutralization reaction. Now this neutralization reaction is highly exothermic in nature. So as the byproduct we also get the energy here, and the release amount of energy, it also indicates whether the base or the acid what you are using for the neutralization reaction are strong or not. If the released amount of energy is 57.1 kilojoule, then this much amount of energy release indicates that the base or acid what you are using here are strong in nature. So whenever a strong acid it reacts with a strong base, a fixed amount of energy is released, that is equals to 57.1 kilojoule. For example, if I talk about the reaction of hydrochloric acid with sodium hydroxide NaOH, so when these two react, the H plus ion released by this acid reacts with the hydroxyl anion released by this base. By the reaction of H plus and OH minus result in the formation of water occurs. Since here we are having Na plus ion and here we are having Cl1 minus ion left, by the combination of these two, formation of sodium chloride, that is common salt, it occurs. Since this HCl is an example of strong acid and this NaOH is an example of strong base, so here the energy is also released due to the neutralization reaction. And since these two are components are strong in nature, the fixed amount of energy is released, that is 57.1 kilojoule. On the other hand, if I take a strong acid here like sulfuric acid, if I made to react this with a weak base, for example here I am using milk of magnesia MgOH whole twice, or if I take the reverse composition of this, like if here I am taking a weak acid, that is carbonic acid H2CO3, when we made this carbonic acid react with a strong base, like here I am taking barium hydroxide, that's an example of strong base. So when these two made to react, there this hydroxyl anion will neutralizes the hydronium ion, result in the formation of two molecules of water occur with the formation of Mg plus 2 cation and SO4 2 minus anion, which by the combination forms MgSO4. Since here the combination is of strong acid and weak base, so energy will be released since it's a neutralization reaction, but the released energy will be lesser than 57.1 kilojoule. Since some amount of energy that is released by the neutralization is utilizes to ionizes this weak base, and that is why the released amount of energy what you will be getting will be lesser than 57.1 kilojoule. Same as if I talk about the reaction of barium hydroxide and carbonic acid, here this hydronium ion they reacts with the hydroxyl anion, result in the formation of water occurs with the formation of barium carbonate, that is BaCO3, and here the amount of energy that will be released will be again lesser than 57.1 kilojoule, since here the combination is of weak acid with a strong base. So that's about the neutralization reaction, and these neutralization reactions are of very high use, that you can see in the another part of this acid base and salt chapter, that what are the uses of these neutralization reaction in day-to-day life. Now we will be dealing with the next chemical reaction of these bases, and the second chemical reaction of these bases is reaction of bases with metals. Now, when we have talked about the reaction of metals with acids, there we have seen that the large number of metals displaces hydrogen gas when made to react with acid. But opposite to that, only some metals are there which react with base to evolve hydrogen gas. Only those metals which form amphoteric oxides, for example, zinc, tin and aluminium. Since the zinc oxide is amphoteric in nature, tin oxide is amphoteric in nature, and aluminium oxide Al2O3 is also amphoteric in nature. So only these three metals with some more examples that will show the amphoteric nature reacts with base to evolve hydrogen gas. For example, if we made this zinc in the solid state react with the aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide, by the reaction between these two, formation of sodium zincate with the formula Na2ZnO2 with the release of hydrogen gas it occurs. On the other hand, if I made this aluminium react with sodium hydroxide, so when we take two molecules of this aluminium, they reacts with two molecules of sodium hydroxide with two molecules of water. Here again the evolution of hydrogen gas occurs with the formation of sodium meta-aluminate that can be indicated by the formula NaAlO2, and hydrogen gas is released with three molecules of hydrogen gas. If I write the chemical reaction between tin and sodium hydroxide, the reaction will occur in this manner. Formation of sodium stannite with the formula Na2SnO2 it occurs, and hydrogen gas is released in this case. So that is the reaction of metals with bases. Now we will be dealing with the last chemical property of that base, that is the reaction of base with non-metallic oxides. As we know that these non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So being acidic in nature, they can react easily with base to form salt and water. Such as if I take carbon dioxide gas here, so this carbon dioxide being acidic in nature, when made to come in the contact of sodium hydroxide aqueous solution, the reaction of acid base occur to the formation of sodium carbonate Na2CO3 with the formation of water in the liquid state. So that is the reaction of non-metallic oxide with a base. If I take one more example here, like as the base here we are using slackline calcium hydroxide. This slag lime when made to react with sulfur dioxide gas. So by the reaction of these two, we need to take the aqueous solution of these two so that they can react with each other. The formation of calcium sulfide with the formula CaSO3, which is a salt, with the formation of water, it occurs. So that's the reaction of a base with non-metallic oxide, and here again the formation of salt and water occurs. It can be termed as a neutralization reaction, since these non-metallic oxide, they work like a acid here, and this is the base we are using here. So that's about the chemical properties of bases.